Hi everyone. In this video, we look at what are the top 5 key takeaways from the NEET 2020 examination. Now, there are a couple of reasons why the 2020 examination is in a way sort of a deviation from the regular trend, because we have seen the conducting entity becoming the NTA, and so there were expectations in terms of how the paper could be changed in terms of the basis of the paper, whether it will be still NCERT based or what will be the level of questions and so on and so forth. Okay, so based on the actual paper of 2020, we are able to collate some important takeaways that could be seen as a sort of a trend for the further years to come. So assuming that the similar trend of paper is going to be followed in the next couple of years, 21 or 2022, like that, we'll see that these considerations could be important for the students, whoever is going to attempt in the subsequent years. Okay, so we'll start with the analysis. So here, just at the outset, right, I want to mention one thing very clear. So we are not getting into the question level analysis. Like, I'm not going to get into say biology, how many questions have come from human physiology or things like that. No, what is the toughness level of botany or zoology, like that. No, we are not going to get into the analysis at that specific level, but we will keep the analysis at a broad level. So we look at the 5 key takeaways. One, from the subject perspective, physics separately, biology, and then chemistry. And also we look at the takeaways from the study resources or practice point of view, and the mock test in terms of getting the examination practice. Okay, so beginning with the physics, if you look at the questions, right, that have come in NEET 2020, most of the questions were concept based questions, in the sense, we have questions coming on center of mass, questions coming on the Brewster's angle, questions coming on the fringe within the Young's double slit experiment, like that. We have mostly questions coming on the specific concepts. Now even like if you look at the kind of questions that have come, it is not like we have really in-depth assessment of the numerical toughness, but rather we have questions coming on straight formula type, which means we have most of the questions in physics which are like straight numerical questions, which means we have the fringe with formula, we'll just go and apply it. So like that, we have the center of mass location formula, we'll be able to just go and apply it. Like that, we have straight numerical type of questions. Now the way forward from this is, if you are looking at giving NEET in 2021 or 2022 or further, what we need to be keeping in mind is give more emphasis on dissecting the syllabus. Instead of looking at it like chapter wise, dissect the syllabus into subtopics and make sure that you are getting adequate specific formula level practice in these subtopics. If you can have your preparation along those lines, definitely you will be able to score better in physics. And also, on contrary to what has been given in the NTA mock examination, if you have taken a look at the NTA mock tests, if not practice them, if you have even taken a look at some of these 100 plus mock tests they have given, a good number of these question papers that have the integration, differentiation, application involved. But in the NEET 2020, we don't have the integration or differentiation level application questions, which means we can sort of take the focus so much from these advanced type of questions and make sure that the base level questions we are thorough, so that you can do right from the beginning of the preparation, so that your preparation, right, will be completely aligned to what is the expectation. Like some of the students who have appeared for this exam, they have come out of the examination hall and they started saying that no, probably they could not attempt as many physics questions as they should have done, and usual rhetoric, right, that says the paper is sort of medium to easy but I didn't do well. Okay, so that shouldn't happen, right, going forward. So if our practice is aligned to what is the expectation, then we will be able to easily ace the paper in physics. Okay, so this is about the considerations when it comes to physics. Now looking at the biology, like it happens every year, this year also, though the the examination is now set by NTA. Previously CBSE used to conduct the examination, but still we have good number of questions coming on the NCERT focused. Now when I say NCERT focused, what I need to reiterate to everyone is that now with syllabus changed across the boards, whether you are a student from Tamil Nadu or Andhra, any state for that matter, lot of states, the state board syllabus for plus 1 plus 2 has changed, which means that the state board syllabus also will be now more or less along the lines of the NCERT. So in that sense, right, whatever is your core plus 1 plus 2 syllabus, we can see that good number of questions have come from those concepts. And another interesting thing is, while there are some remarks in terms of the NTA mock test when it comes to the chemistry and physics part, for biology, the number might vary in terms of what is the total questions that have appeared from the NTA straight or NTA model type. But I've seen quite a number of people saying that out of the 90 questions in bio, at least 60 questions have either come with same type of question as it is, or a similar models in that sense, related concept questions. So which means this tells us what is the importance of practicing the NTA mock test, in sense, if not taking it like a test, at least getting through that practice. So we have 100 plus 109 or 110 tests. So if you have 90 questions per paper, right, that sums up to around how much? It will come to around 9,000 questions, which means that's quite a lot of practice. So if you can practice those questions, that is going to really help you in terms of the biology part of it. Okay, so this is the perspective from the biology. Now moving on to chemistry, like it is the case with previous years, 2020 also we got the inorganic and organic questions mostly along the NCERT lines. Like we have either straight questions from the NCERT textbook, or a little bit application level, like we have the ozonolysis product based questions, or we have the Woods reaction based questions. So I'm talking about the organic part. So most of the things, right, we don't need to study reactions beyond the NCERT. That is the main point. Like whether it is the inorganic or the organic, if you can limit your study for the reactions at the NCERT level, that is good enough. And with regard to the fringe chapters, like the environmental chemistry, chemistry in everyday life, biomolecules, polymers, so all these fringe chapters, right, you need to be little bit more focused in terms of the NCERT. Like usually in these chapters, what we'll be getting is, we'll get straight in-text type of questions. So this is what is about the inorganic and the organic part. Now when it comes to the physical chemistry, we got a lot of questions which are like straight concept questions. Okay, which means you'll have a concept related formula, and we'll get questions straight based on that, whether it is the question on Dalton's law of partial pressures. I'm just giving some examples so that you will be able to correlate when you look at the paper. So we got most of the questions are straight formula type questions, or the concept type questions, and we also got some questions as it is repeating from the previous year. Some questions have come just as it is, some similar models have come, like we have got a question from surface chemistry where they have asked what is the cationic surfactant. Okay, like that. No, that was a question that has already come in one of the previous years. It's a straight theory question. So like that, no, we have the physical chemistry, mostly the concept questions that have come, and the previous year related models. This is about the chemistry point. Now moving on to the idea of what is it that students who are going to take up the examination in further years have to be focused on. Like when it comes to the study or the preparation, basic preparation, right, what is it that they need to use as a base. Now for the biology, like people keep saying, start with NCERT and probably end with NCERT, in the sense you try to base your preparation whole and soul on the NCERT. Now for the 5 odd questions that might come little bit beyond the NCERT level, right, you should not be spending a lot of time from the beginning. Okay, so you make sure that you do the NCERT thoroughly, and if at all you are trying to give yourself some extra theory exposure, right, make sure that you do it from the books which will, or the publications which will say NCRT based, in the sense, like you see that, NCRT based NEET preparation book, etc. So in those books, what happens is they would try to little bit expand the NCRT concepts. So wherever in NCRT we give it like one liner, they will try to explain it further. Like say for example in bio we have some, any enzyme, we'll talk about what is the property of the enzyme. So in those the publication books, what could happen is they will talk a little bit more about that enzyme in that sense. So it will be able to one help you in getting further understanding of that particular idea or the concept, and also the additional questions, if at all they are coming, right, they would be along these lines. Okay, there is no point in really doing a vast amount of study and trying to fetch those extra one or two questions while losing the base ground. Okay, so make sure that you keep your preparation thoroughly based upon the NCRT, and even if you are trying to look at some additional theory exposure, make it from the publications that will talk about NCRT extensions. Now if you have any concept which is not clear, or you feel that you need to dig a little bit more deep into it, then try to look at some reference books, like whether it is Truman's, or even nowadays, right, there are a lot of medical publication books available. Like say for example, if you want to understand certain phenomena or certain process, okay, so you can take up a reference book and go really deep into it. What you have in NCRT as a paragraph, right, in those books it might be looking like 3 or 4 page detailed explanation. So you could go and do it just for the reference purpose. Now talking about the chemistry, for the inorganic and organic part, as I mentioned, doing the thorough preparation from the NCRT, it will be more than sufficient. For the physical chemistry, the thing is the NCRT syllabus or the NCRT book as such is not very much aligned for a competitive examination preparation. It will explain the theory part. So if you can supplement it with any publisher or any book which can give the formulae and relevant approaches from a competitive examination point of view, like problem solving methods and things like that, if they can pick up a reference like that, that will be more than sufficient. Again, here what I would suggest you to be very careful is, don't try to pick up a JEE related resource, because what happens is there the coverage of syllabus could be really more exhaustive, and that might not be required for the NEET level preparation. So make sure that you pick up real NEET level resource for the physical chemistry. The idea is you have to have all the relevant formulae and the corresponding applications being explained. Okay, I'm not giving any names of the publisher, because that will skew the purpose of this discussion itself. Okay, and coming to physics, so one thing is since the questions are coming based on the concept oriented manner, what you need to be doing is you should first probably begin with some resource, like maybe here I'll not be able to stop myself from taking the name of the book. You can probably start with the concepts of physics, which will try to explain some of these concepts really well for you. And apart from that, here I would not suggest you go through NCRT, because NCRT, the explanation part of it, right, will not be again aligned with competitive examination practice. So you try to pick up a resource which is purely NEET level. So why I am emphasizing on this is, again, don't get too much involved into the integration and differentiation level of questions, and then try to discourage yourself if you are not able to attempt those kind of models. Okay, so keep yourself mostly with NEET level resources when it comes to the physics preparation. Okay, so it can even be thorough CBSE guide, like say for example you may have SL Aurora. Okay, I'm just giving some couple of names. So it may even be a thorough CBSE level guide that could be sufficient in terms of giving the right kind of an theory input for you. So this is about the physics study resource. So broadly, we have to keep NCRT as the basis for the bio and bio and inorganic and organic chemistry. Physical chemistry, try to take up a NEET resource. Same is the case with the physics also. Now in physics, again, there are some fringe chapters. Now when I say fringe chapters, what I am talking about is those chapters like we have electromagnetic waves, or magnetism and matter, or we have semiconductors and communication systems. Though these type of chapters, right, you will have to go through the NCRT text, because there are chances that we might get some questions straight from the NCERT textbook in that. So that those particular chapters we need to be giving a reading of the NCERT, because from there, right, we will not be able to expect too much of numerical questions, but you will rather be able to look at some theory based questions. So this is about the resources that you can look at in terms of your preparation. Now again, all this is based on what? Based on the assumption that we are going to carry on with this kind of a trend in the coming years. In terms of the practice, definitely one, clear guidance that will emerge from the 2020 paper is that each of us have to practice the past years. Now when I say practice, either you may look at some past year video lectures of some faculty and then get that kind of a practice, or you sit down with a book, past year book, and then do the practice, or you can even take it like examination. But nevertheless, you should get that practice of the past year across subjects. It's for all bio, physics as well as chemistry. Now NTA mock test questions, as I said in the beginning of the discussion, we have seen good number of models of questions coming in the biology section. So make sure that you do go through the NTA mock test questions. Now you may ask, like, there are 100 odd tests, each test 90 questions, that is like 9,000 questions. So in what way we can do the practice? So you can do the practice in couple of ways. One, you can break it down. Some of these tests, if possible, you can take it like a test itself. Some of them you can go through the solutions as it is. Some of them you can listen to any recorded lectures of faculties if available, like that. So you keep different means of getting that practice, but more like, if you are able to cover all these papers, means that's well and good, but try to do as much as possible. Okay, so this is about the practice for the bio. Okay, and other than that, when it comes to the bio practice, make sure that you pick up, if you are doing a chapter wise practice, right, pick up a book which has got subtopic level questions. Mostly what happens is, when you're reading a subtopic in biology, you would just go on to the next subtopic and so on and so forth. But you should make sure that at each subtopic level you are able to assess yourself. Like, if you can find a guide or resource that will have the subtopic level questions, you try to practice questions at the subtopic level instead of doing at the chapter level, so that you will be able to get the assessment at a more granular level, and that will help you a lot in terms of getting the overall preparation correct. And for physics, like I said, in the case of the study or the preparation, for the practice also, do it from pure NEET level resource. Like, you have different publication books. I'm not going to say this is good one and that is not so good, etc. But whatever you resource you pick, right, the most important thing is going to be you do it thoroughly. Like, any book is having, say for example, 50 or 60 questions per chapter. Make sure that you do all these questions. Okay, that is going to be more beneficial, and also that is going to be more result oriented. So if you pick up a book which has got like 200 questions, and you just do like 20 questions or 30 questions and you move on, or you juggle between books. Like, I've seen one worrying trend among some students, like, you will pick up some 3-4 guides and 3-4 reference books, and you keep juggling between them. That is also again not going to serve the purpose. So make sure that you pick up a resource, and that is going to be NEET level, and do the practice from that. And when it comes to the revision of bio and in chemistry, the organic and inorganic, because I've seen a lot of students saying that, okay, we are able to read through bio, we are able to read through organic, we are able to read through inorganic, but when it comes to the last leg of preparation, like in the final stages, right, we see that they are not able to answer the questions. Probably the lag is in getting the revision, which will dent the recalling ability. Like, say for example, if you are not able to do the revision properly, you will not be able to recall the things faster. So what you need to be doing is, when it comes to the revision phase, make sure that you do the revision through question practice. Like, instead of again sitting with the book and then revising one by one, right, what you need to do is you pick up any practicing resource. It may be NTA mock papers, or it may be any other chapter wise test papers or something like that, and you do the revision through that, so that the focus will be on areas where you are not able to attempt the questions, and also you will be able to really understand how you will read that particular chapter from examination point of view. And for the physical chemistry, again, when it comes to the last leg of revision, you will have to make sure that you practice, and you practice it from the NCERT level resource. So the physical chemistry, not only the regular preparation, but also in the revision phase also, you try to give yourself the practice from the NCERT level resource. When I say NCERT level resource, what I mean to say is you have guides and resources that will try to give the NEET orientation based on the NCERT level syllabus. Okay, so which is not going to be dragging too much into the JEE level stuff. Okay, so if you are able to do that, means that is quite sufficient. And in terms of mock tests, there are two questions that will come from students. What is the source I need to choose? Like various institutions, including conceptory also, we offer these mock tests. And now NTA has come and just they have sort of dumped with 100 plus tests. So what is the source that we need to practice questions from? Now the thing about NTA mock tests is there are 100. Okay, now I've seen some students, they get into the psychological mindset. Okay, if I'm not practicing all the 100, means I'm losing something. They'll come up with this kind of mindset. If you are thinking along those lines, then don't try to bet the NTA test, because it might be quite difficult for a person to really go through all the 100 tests. If you have that much amount of time and you can do it, then probably you can do the NTA test. But more than the NTA test, right, what I would look at for the biology practice is you go through the questions. If not taking it like a test, you go through the solutions, or you go through the video lectures of some of these mock test explanations, etc. But try and expose yourself to these bio NTA mock test questions. But the flip side of this is, as I said, there are large number of tests, and you should not feel, if in case you are not able to attempt all the tests, means you should not feel that your preparation is inadequate or something, because always you should be telling that whatever is your practice, right, based on that only you are going to go and appear for the examination. It is not like we keep discouraging ourselves just because we are not able to touch that full practice mark or something. Okay, so make sure that you pick up the right testing source based on your assessment. Okay, for those who don't have any other resource, you can go for the NTA. If you have alternative possibilities, explore them, but make sure that whatever the number of tests that you're taking, right, you will be revising those tests, in the sense after taking every test, you will have to make sure that you go through the test, look at the questions that you are not able to answer, understand why you are not able to answer, revise the concept if required. If some concept you are not able to get the correct answer, make sure that you practice some more questions along similar model. Try and ensure that you are good in terms of that particular model of question. So after every test, you can make it more meaningful by revising those missed out questions, or the questions that you are not able to get the answer. You can go to the respective concepts and then go through it. So it is not more in terms of the number of tests that you take, but rather in terms of how meaningful you are making the test attempt. Okay, so don't focus too much on the number. And again, with regard to the NTA mock test, as I said, if you don't have any other resource, you can go for the NTA mock test. If you have any other alternative possibilities, still you have to go through the NTA mock test bio questions. Okay, this is something that we cannot leave out. Okay, so this is what is the takeaway for the mock test. So these are the 5 key takeaways that we have from the NEET 2020. Hope this is useful, and like I said, if you are looking for some preparation resources for NEET 2021 or 2022, you can log out to our websites www.conceptlearning.com or our digital portal www.conceptdigital.com. You can also download our app from the Play Store and then be able to take the tests or access the learning resources. Hope this is useful, and we will see you in the next information video.